Welcome to the land of confusion, where we're going to be rebuilding the Atlanta Falcons, who shocked the NFL world by taking Michael Penix, pick 8 overall. We'll obviously get into that, but let's first go over just the landscape of the team. This is an offensive line that, maybe on Madden paper doesn't look great, but it is actually a very good offensive line. You have a solid long-term starter in Jake Matthews. You have one of the best right guards in the league. You have a very good underrated right tackle, a very good run-blocking center, and then we don't know a whole lot about the left guard, I'm going to be honest with you. But we move on to the weapons. Now, Atlanta does have some weapons. Are they as good as the receivers in Minnesota? Not really. Are they even the same type of receivers as Minnesota? Not really. Mooney, you kind of maybe get that Addison type. But Drake London's obviously nowhere near the same type of receiver as Justin Jefferson, as there's not many players like him in the league in general. But what I will say is you get a very much so better run backfield. Like it's night and day better. So you will have that option of running the ball and very effectively. So Kirk Cousins may not have the exact same weapons, may not even have as good of weapons as the Vikings, but he definitely has more versatility, especially out of the backfield. And then you obviously talk about Kirk Cousins himself. They paid him $180 million coming off of the very major injury, but I had to bump him to star because for some reason EA thinks normal dev is fair for a guy that is pretty securely a top 10 quarterback in the league. I mean, I put him anywhere you want on overall-wise, but star dev is easily fair for Kirk Cousins, without a doubt. You can argue if you think he's overrated, you think he's underrated, but star dev is fair. 84 overall even, I think is fair. Maybe even a little bit higher. I would probably, if I made the game, I'd probably put him at an 86 or 87. I'm going to be 100% honest. So 86, 87 star dev, that's what I have him as. I put Penix at star dev because he was 8 overall in the top 10. And honestly, looking back at that Broncos rebuild, I probably could have made Bo Nix a star dev as well. We are planning to start him at some point. He is 23, going on 24 in real life. But I am going to start him whenever Kirk Cousins is gone, which is probably going to be 2 years from now. So starting year 3, hopefully at least is like an 74 overall 25-year-old. It's kind of crazy to think. But looking more at the wide receiver options, I thought maybe instead of going Penix, I don't know, Rome Odunze at pick 8. But then you look more into what Mooney was up to with the Bears, and you're looking at the numbers, the base numbers. It doesn't look great, right? The yards and the touchdowns don't look great as of late. Nowhere near as good as his rookie year. But then you look at the targets. He kept dropping down in targets. And in general, I think his catchable pass rate was around 45%, or uncatchable pass rate was around 45%, which is really bad. The contract they paid him makes me think that they just didn't think Justin Fields was that good. I'm going to be honest. I think they think Darnell Mooney with a quarterback like Cousins is going to reemerge as the receiver he once was, the number 1 receiver for Chicago that he once was for this Falcons team. Of course, you had Rondale Moore. I'm going to put him in the slot. But this is definitely an offense that has a lot of talent, but just like the Bears physically proved by going Rome Odunze, you can never have too much wide receiver talent. And if you're going to pay $180 for Cousins, I think you maybe want to add to his talent or add to the overall team's win now strategy that they should be in with an older, very expensive quarterback. Maybe go Dallas Turner, something like that. But they didn't. We move on to the defensive side of the ball. They did have a really good draft, though, in the second and beyond rounds. They needed to address the trenches, and that's what they did. The run defense was not that good. Grady Jarrett, let's be real, hasn't really been elite for a long time. Not just last season because he was injured, but for several years now. Very good, but his elite status, the name he used to be, the 90-plus overall Madden player, which feels like it's been so long ago since that was true, that he used to be, is, kind of gone. He's serviceable. If he stays healthy, he's better than average, but they needed help on the interior. Onyemata, I got to say, they got some players from the Saints. The Saints let go of some good ones, and Onyemata is definitely one of them. Oro, he's going to be their very high second-round pick, and, once again, pretty good pick. Comped to Ebikidi, which is, not Ebikidi. Ebikidi's on this team. Matabike, that's who I'm thinking of. So, if that's true, they got themselves an interior D-line. Of course, Eddie Goldman joined this team. I have no idea what type of player he'll be, no idea what type of rating he'll be, but the contract he signed to means that he might not even make the roster, and I figured since I'm not going to start him in year 1 and I won't re-sign him anyways, there's really no point in making him. There's really no point. Cornerbacks, AJ Terrell is obviously a very good corner. 1. Corner 2, maybe that's what they could have went with. Trade down from 8s or trade up from the second round, after grabbing, I don't know, they trade down to 14, grab Byron Murphy or go Dallas Turner, whatever. You can maybe trade up for a corner. I think corner 2 is probably going to be on our list. Safeties could use a new strong safety. Free safety, you're obviously set there. Edge, they go with Trice. Not bad, but once again, you'd like to have a little bit more of a higher potential prospect, but you never know. He could be the guy. And then inside linebackers, talked about the Saints, former Saints players cooking for this team. Caden Ellis, very good for them. And then Landman, also out of nowhere. There's a bunch of kind of off-ball linebackers that just emerge out of the depths of the shadows. But yeah, another thing, this is the draft class. We'll look into the actual players a little bit more, the rookies. This class was by It's Vic, who has a YouTube channel as well, so maybe check that out. It takes a lot of effort putting these, these draft classes together, and I didn't really see any, ratings that I thought were far off. So overall, I think it's not a bad class to maybe look at. But yeah, Ororo, I'd like a little bit higher pass rush, but put him at star dev because I think that's probably where he'll be. And then we have Trice, who I didn't really look into either, but right outside linebacker. Trice, hoping for a dev up early. Breakout would be great. What else do we have? We had Dorless. I think this fella right here is maybe a little bit too high, but Dorless, 22 years old, normal. Some potential there. We'll maybe start him next season. We'll see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the Falcons pick. Obviously, you believe in Penix. You think he's the guy of the future. A lot of, the injury concerns are obviously there, but weird that he's comped to Tua. I don't really see a whole lot of Tua in him. I guess if you have a left, your strong arm is your left arm, your main arm, your Tua, I guess. That's just how it goes. But also, you guys killed it in the comment section last video, which I appreciate because I think it's a lot of fun to just converse about, different teams and, talk about which teams you guys like to see next. I've seen a couple of people saying the Patriots, which, we kind of did a Drake May rebuild recently enough. So we will get back to them because obviously we didn't have all the other rounds right. But, I want some of the teams we maybe haven't done recently, like the Chiefs could be a candidate. So keep those team suggestions coming. And while you're down there, maybe leave a like if you enjoy the video. Come back to it midway through. You're like, yeah, screw up, give it a like. And maybe subscribe if you're new. We do a ton of franchise stuff on the channel. But enough yapping. It's time to rebuild the team that's going to start a 25-year-old, 26-year-old low overall quarterback soon. Oh, we broke. So Landman can't be re-signed, I don't think. Kyle Pitts needs a 5th-year option. We're broke. Once again, it's kind of tough because you're paying Kirk Cousins the $180, but you're on last year's contract. So let's say Grady Jarrett's slated to make $11 million in 2024, but he made $16 million in 2023. We're on 2023's contract still, which is definitely unfortunate, but it's the small price you pay. And no matter what, we have the division. I don't think we'd have a chance at the bye week, but at least we win the division. We are an 11-6 team. I don't know if changing the defensive scheme worked out the best, but didn't change the offensive scheme. But we were like 6-5 or 5-5, something like that. Changed to the Pittsburgh defense because the Falcons was giving me 1 sack, was the highest sack total we had after 9 weeks, which is hilariously bad. Don't know what it ended up finishing, but it seems to have helped the win-loss. Apparently, I don't know. But let's take a look at the offensive stats. Kirk Cousins, 34 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 3,600 yards. That's literally very Kirk Cousin-y. Bijan was, pretty decent. 4.1 yards per carry, 10 touchdowns. Algier was way worse than he was in real life. Receiving, Drake London was decent, kind of like him in real life. Pitts, very good. Rondale Moore, pretty damn good, actually. And then Mooney didn't really get much done, unfortunately. Offensive line, right tackle was very good. And then left tackle, 11 sacks allowed. Looking at pass rush, though, it didn't seem to change anything. It really didn't, which is just hilarious. Like, you could be the worst pass rush unit in the league, and your, best player is at least going to put up, 6. I actually wonder what the lowest high on a team's sack total was. Because you don't have to be the greatest to get sacks, you know? You can, I wouldn't say luck into them. A coverage sacks exist, and, you know, a blown assignment on the offensive line exists. And you're telling me we only did that 3.5 times? That was the max we could do? But D. Alford was amazing. Landman with 4 interceptions. I don't know if we can afford him. Young Hui Koo missed 3 out of 15, which is not the best. Bradley Pinion, blocked twice, 51 yards per punt. Kick return, punt return game. Not a whole lot going on there. Did make the playoffs, but man, it was kind of a mid-season, especially on defense. Did we win anything? Anything at all? Any rookie awards? We were at number 6 for Bijan. And then for defense, not on the list at all. Best quarterback was at number 6, fair enough. Best running back at number 6, fair enough. Best wide receiver, not on the list, unfortunately. The Vikings had 2 guys on the top tier list, and we don't know. Hawkinson might have been up there too, but obviously tight ends don't get into that ranking. Lindstrom at number 6. Usually he ends up with superstar at some point, so hopefully that'll happen again. D-line, nope. Linebacker, surprisingly not even Landman. DB should be at least one. There's Alford at number 2. And then kicker, not even close, apparently. Missing 3 is enough. But here it is, the playoffs in year 1. I mean, this is, if the Falcons don't make the playoffs in year 1, I'm not saying that the Saints, the Panthers, or the Buccaneers are bad, right? The Buccaneers actually had a pretty good season, but not the toughest division in not the toughest conference. If they don't make the playoffs, barring any injuries, that would be an astronomical failure of a season. All right, going to the end of the game against another Bird team, the Eagles, 7-0, 7-7, 14-7, 14-10. We are driving down. We do get the 3-point lead. Nice little comeback. Huge field goal drive at the end, too. Up 6. Still anyone's game, but a touchdown from us would probably do it. Not going to get that. The field goal is great. There's the touchdown we were looking for, and while it was close to the very end, we do hold on and really just never let them gain the lead back. You know, they had the 14-7 game, and then after that, we went 14-10, and then 17-14, and it was pretty much just Falcons from there. I mean, obviously back and forth, but always held some sort of lead. Kirk Cousins was great. Jalen Hurts was not bad. Saquon was great. Bijan was very consistent. Drake London was amazing. Devontae Parker cooked. Mooney was actually pretty damn good. Looking at the defensive numbers, we have nothing going for ourselves, like, at all. Clark Phillips with a pick, which is cool. But, yeah, the sack totals, man, we gotta go edge. Like, we don't have any money. I was about to say there's a free agent, but we don't really have the money to pay a free agent. So, yeah, I mean, we gotta find a way, but we definitely need better pass rushers, especially edge rushers. To the divisional round, anyone but the Cowboys try to keep this run going. The Niners, okay. You know how I said, like, anyone? Like, you know, like, anyone but this team either? I kind of forgot about the Niners. My bad. Especially since, you know, if we win this with the Raiders, 9-8 in year 1. Okay, what was the other team? I was going to say, especially since if we even win this game, it'll be the Cowboys anyways. There you can see the Packers at 14-3. Yeah, I mean, we are by far the worst team remaining, but we've got a decent scheme. We got some decent weapons. Let's shock the world, if you will. Well, the football world. I mean, the rest of the world kind of doesn't care about our sport. Let's be real. Let's just be real. If it's not a round ball with black and white on it, they don't care. Looking at how close this is, I know there's going to be someone who's like, I'm from Brazil and I love American football. It's like, I know, but you get it. Like, the average... Oh, did we stop them? Wow, I thought they maybe would have had a chance at a field goal there. They didn't. You know, it's a little early to be coming into the game, but at the same time, it's a little late in the game to be wasting this much clock, as we're going to be looking probably to the outside wheel. We're going to have the outside wheel, and Rondale Moore adjusting to the ball perfectly. A lot of the time, I see the wide receiver just not even come close. Maybe the lack of size actually helped. They're going to booth review this because they're losers. The refs, of course, because they're the ones that initiated it. I mean, I thought he had it. I mean, I think he has the whole damn heel even. And I really want to waste the clock all the way down so the AI... Like, I can kick the field goal, but I want the AI to have a chance at the field goal. But I know... Oh, look at the cut move. The blocking was great, too. Fred Warner died for his sins. And his sins were getting in the way of us winning this upset of a game. And realistically, after a run like that, I think he could probably run the ball again. And whatever happened, I mean, he is getting cooked by Bergeron. He's actually getting cooked. Another huge run, and we're going to just, you know, call a timeout, kick a field goal. You know what? I am kicking the field goal. I just know that the AI, they won't even kick the damn field goal. For some reason, they'll be like, we can run it one more time with 3 seconds. What is this kick bar? Maybe it's because he's a superstar. That was too easy. Okay, to the championship round, year 1 is the Falcons. Why not? Take a look at the numbers. Pretty, tame from both sides. Very accurate game, though. Kind of expect that from these two. Bijan was amazing. Drake London was great again. Like 300 yards in 2 games. Pass rush, really not a whole lot to talk about yet again. Kicking was clean. It was just a clean game where we just scored slightly more. I suppose we're hoping for the Packers, right? The Cowboys are kind of busted in sim, but the fact that they beat the busted team in sim worries me a little bit. Wildcard round, the Cowboys did actually have to play in the wildcard round, so it wasn't even the... Who was the damn team? I guess the Niners? So we beat the number 1 seed, if that's anything to anyone. And then even if we win this, we have to go against either the Ravens or the Chiefs. So not the easiest route to a Super Bowl win, but it would definitely be a shocking one if we were to win the Super Bowl year 1 with this Falcons team. There's also a decent chance that Kirk Cousins could go to Superstar, which would definitely make the Penix part of this rebuild a little awkward. So far, 13-0. We are doing nothing. Offense finally wakes up in the second half. We get 7. It is now a 9-point game, though. Huge touchdown again. And with our drive here at our own 12-yard line, we have a chance to drive down for the game's first lead for this Falcons team. And it is 21-16. 4th and 6. They get a conversion to Jaden Reed, though, and they get the touchdown. 43 seconds left. They are really not doing a whole lot here. Need another field goal, but this time the field goal would only give them the tie. But you obviously hope for the best. Do you go for the big fella? He is wide open. Drake London cooking down to the 38-yard line. Maybe I've disrespected this man. But the crossers could honestly just run the ball, go for the field goal as well, but we kind of want more. And that's overthrown. Whoo! And I mean like more, like, we want more points, we want more yards, not we want more the receiver. Are we selling? Are we selling? I should have taken it. Throw it away. They're going to call grounding. There is no way. Well, it looks like we're going for a screen pass just to get back into field goal range. That's fun. Oh, you asked why am I the worst? I don't know. I just kind of am. Get to running. Screen pass on the run. Can someone help? Bijan says, I don't need your help. To the 40. I mean, it's a long field goal, but it should be obtainable. 4th. What? Huh? How long of a field goal is this? 57. It's a long field goal. Yeah, but this is hittable, no? It's a perfect kick as well. Penix, perfect hold. That's why we brought him in. And it's in. Potential overtime. What a hold. That is, I mean, you can't get that outside the first round. You're not getting a hold on the field goal as good as that if you don't take someone in the top 10. You just aren't. They don't do anything with it. Is this us? Oh, I hate getting the ball first because the AI doesn't know any better, and they usually just like, oh, it's 4th down inside field goal range. We must go for it. All right, we got to get the stop. Wait, what? Did they run out of time? Did they not give them enough? Oh, we ran out of time. Game over. Or did they turn it over? Oh, they did. They threw a pick. Richie Grant sends us to the Super Bowl. Jordan Love threw a pick right at the end of the game. It was a clean game until then. Both running backs pretty similar. Drake London is killed. He's like half of a real, oh, wow. Ebikidi killed it as well. But half of a milestone season of 1,000 yards in 3 games in the playoffs. One of the greatest playoff receiving stretches ever, probably, I'd imagine, just based on common sense. Is it the Chiefs? It is the Chiefs. Not quite the Cowboys leading up to this, but man, with the Chiefs here in the Super Bowl, this is one hell of a challenge, let me tell you that much. But let's take a look. Take a look. No dev up for Cousins. I don't know if I like or hate that, because if we're trying to use Penix at some point, him not going up to Superstar will be a very good way of being able to use him sooner rather than later. And then defensively, Landman and Ellis go up in dev. Ebikidi, I think, was already star, right? I forget things so quickly. But yeah, the middle linebackers go up in dev. Don't even know if we can keep Landman anyways. But yeah, pretty mid upgrading. I mean, even Alfred, he's not that young of a cornerback, so it doesn't really change too much the fact that he is star dev, other than the fact that he'll be I guess the corner 3 going forward, assuming we can even afford him. I don't know if he needs a contract now or what. But here it is. the Chiefs. Can we win a Super Bowl year one with the Falcons? Knowing our luck, we'll make it all the way here and then lose because it is the Chiefs. The Chiefs are so tough to beat in Sim. 7-0. I mean, that's considered a win. For this to only be 7-0 at halftime, that's like astronomical win status. Down by 7 now, entering the fourth quarter. Nice drive. We get a touchdown. We hold them to a field goal with 2.5 left. What is happening, as I was about to say. And I don't know what's happening here either, but 3rd and 13. I mean, I think you bring the blitz anyways. I still think you do. Where is the mid? Mid blitz. I mean, I don't see how you go anywhere else with this. I really wish it was Bates against Rice. Oh, they're going to run the ball there. Good play. I mean, chance still exists. I might have to come in and physically do it because I don't trust the AI with under a minute. But we have a chance. I'll give them that. Of course, we're going to go with the squeeze block. As obviously, from the 49, we're not going to be able to do anything with it. Almost blocked it. I wonder if he actually, like, adjusted right on time to avoid that. Because that was close. No timeouts. Can keep the field in play, but it's got to be worth it, right? It's got to be a good play to do it on. And that's a really good throw. Gotta say, Kirk Cousins is an accurate mof. To the 41. And all we need is a field goal. So, I mean, the aggressiveness kind of maybe gets ramped down a little bit unless we really like what we got. It's a big fella again, and wow, what a try in the catch. But I just praise him on his accuracy, and he misses an open receiver. Like, come on, man. Might be jumping the gun with the screen, but the last one we got was like 12, and we got out of bounds. So why wouldn't I try this again? They're on this, but the blockers are out there. Kind of. Bijan showing off the speed. Jean to the 31. Drake London to the corner. Rondale Moore is so tiny. That was a terrible throw. Really good coverage anyways, though. We're getting to that territory where I'm a little worried about, taking the shot. Field goal's there. Maybe just take what you got. Oh, my. Good throw down. I can't believe they actually, baited that out to that outside. Baited that freaking crosser. Another thing is they can stop the clock now. So I'd really love to just get a first down and just go for the field goal from there. That's a tough one. Bijan just doesn't catch it. Okay, field goal. Field goal with all 3 timeouts for them. So even if we hit this field goal, they have a really good chance anyways. I can't believe he dropped that. If he holds on to that, because of the down and distance, I mean, they might not call the timeout. Maybe. Probably. But maybe. We actually legitimately had a chance, and we blew it. I mean, look how much time they have. Oh, wow, they don't take it. They lose 3, and they're like, nope, we're done. That is about as far as we're going. Oh, huge play. And, I mean, we're scoring first in overtime again. Forcing Mahomes to miss a pick, or throw a pick. Apparently not as easy. Who would have thought? Just a little bit tougher. Looks like a blitz play is in order. We stepped up perfectly. We forced Mahomes off his spot, and he has to throw it away. 4th and 3. I mean, they have to go for it, obviously. I don't really know if I want to go with mid. I'm going to go with this blitz. They're going quick outs, it seems. They're going to run it. Oh, wow, what a seal-off there. We were there, and they blocked us. That is risky, and it works. This is a damn long Super Bowl. Wow, we are in a pretty bad spot here, coverage-wise. Yeah, that could be picked. It is! The Falcons win the Super Bowl! Clark Phillips inadvertently baiting him as we got burned. Mahomes picked at the end zone. And we win the Super Bowl year 1. I don't know what to tell you. Unbelievable. Decent route. He would have had, well, I mean, that's the wrong guy, but he would have had it if Phillips wasn't there. And Penix is a Super Bowl winning quarterback year 1. I mean, obviously, we're going to continue playing. We're going to play until Penix either at least wins a Super Bowl or year 5 hits. So nothing's going to change there. But as far as the chances of this becoming our best rebuild dynasty ever, they have obviously improved quite a bit. I did not once again, the Falcons scheme is pretty decent in Sim. But I did not think that this team was going to be able to win it all in year 1. Pretty ridiculous stuff. Kirk Cousins, Super Bowl winning quarterback. Would it be the first time a rather long-term NFC North quarterback joins a different team and wins the Super Bowl right away? Wouldn't be the first time. But Kirk and company have won a Super Bowl ring in year 1 of potentially 5 in this year Falcons rebuild. Bijan Robinson and company doing the job. The offense finally waking up just enough. I thought that was a throw. I thought that was like Kirk Cousins throwing the ball. I was like, wow, that guy needs some work on his spiral. Of course, there's a field goal. That first throw, it's always the first throw we hit on the like the crosser vertical look. And after that, it's just dead. It's just terrible. But both quarterbacks, not their best work, but over, about 300 yards each. Both threw a pick, though. Robinson with a touchdown. Pretty consistent. Not great, but consistent. Drake London, his worst game yet, which is crazy because it's still 105 yards. Looking at the defensive side of the ball, 2 sacks for Chris Jones, 1 for Ebikidi, who was amazing last week, but this week still got involved. And then Clark Phillips calling game. Unbelievable. Where do we go from here? I mean, obviously we're going to keep playing, but as far as it's got to be only down from here, especially since we're broke. Shirley. And who is Shirley? Bring him up a lot. Not him. But yeah, we'll have to see some retirements, see what kind of cap situation we're in, because like I said, we are pretty broke. It said negative 20 mil. Thankfully, we didn't have any big names. Oh, we're more negative. We're negative 30 mil. Oh no, not position minimum. How come he retired? Oh, we could have had him. Andre Roberts retired. So we're chilling on retirements. Didn't expect Kirk to retire, but he could have. Definitely could have. Negative 28 million, huh? I don't know if there's any, I know Jake Matthews might be kind of cheap to get rid of. But, man, there is not a lot of money. Negative 30 million, let's see it. Maybe there's some restructures in here we can make. Oh, because we have no. So we lose Heineke. I don't know if he actually needed a contract now. We save a little bit. There's no way we get even close. We don't even sniff the possibility of re-signing Landman. There's just zero chance. It's just not happening. Which, to be fair, his coverage is kind of bad. I know he's a good block shitter, but yeah, it almost sounded like I said block shitter. Fifth year option for Pitts. I mean, we can save money by just waiting anyways, but I don't really want to go negative even more until we actually get to that point. So we'll see what happens. We're just heading into free agency with not a whole lot to work with. And then we'll see after all of these contracts are done who we can actually get rid of. Heineke might have actually been on that list. All right, so we can lose Heineke, and I might have to play the real-life contract card, because once again, teams in real life, especially ones that are going for the win now, they play it really close to the chest, right? They're within under 10 mil. So if the margins are within under 10 mil, going from year to year, they might not have been able to afford Kirk Cousins with last year's contracts, which is, of course, what we're technically dealing with. So, we gotta maybe play it a little more realistically than I'd want to. Which, of course, means that Taylor Heineke, after 2024, does not have a contract, so I can release him for free. And same with Lorenzo Carter. You kind of get the gist. We're going to be doing this behind the scenes. I highly doubt we even get back to base. But as long as we can save, even a little bit, it might help us out in the long run. Just enough to when, maybe we get to contract time, and it's we have just barely enough to pay, Pitts and whoever else might need it. So I restructured 2 of the big contracts, and I released 3 players, and even then we are just at negative $80 million. So not going to go for any free agents, but we should hopefully be able to take care of the rookie reserve and have just hopefully enough money to sign some free agent backups that we'll need and be able to re-sign Pitts or whoever. So it'll be a close call, but at least it's a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier. So Super Bowl champions, they have the first pick, the 32nd pick in the draft, typically, and that's exactly what we have. Looking at cornerback is probably I wouldn't say our biggest need, but our biggest need compared to what the draft is willing to provide. 2 1-2 corners, as far as edge rushers go, there really wasn't a lot going on, so we're hoping that there's at least one of those 1-2 corners around 22, so we can make a trade up to 23, because any higher than that, which so far so good, and I think it's a little bit too much for us to try and move up. So this felt like a lot, and it is because we are moving up 10 spots. We end up trading the newly star dev D. Alford Ray McLeod, a first and a third this, and a sixth round next year to move up 10 spots on the Minnesota Vikings. Cornerback, thankfully, wasn't their biggest need because, they got J.C. Jackson apparently in free agency here. And, hey, if that's what you think is going to be your guy. Also, why did I trade up? We don't really need linemen, but at the end of the day, I could have maybe risked it a little bit more and then just went with one of the really good linemen that was there. But I suppose, we are going to be going for this cornerback. Sidney offered. Both corners looked really good. I think I probably would have taken offered over Harvin anyways. Praying for a good overall player, maybe even hidden. We're going to find out. And he is hidden. So the trade up, absolutely worth it automatically. Because even if he's like a bad overall, he's at least hidden. That's all that matters. But now the problem becomes we still need linebacker for the most part. And edge rush wouldn't hurt, but we only have a late second round pick to do it. Offensive line, maybe future tackle protection, but I think we're actually pretty good on the offensive line, thankfully. Edge, Max Dickerson is there. Whenever I whip it out, I'm showing Max Dickerson. You know what I'm saying? DT, maybe for the future. I kind of like Paul Falk, like for the linebacker spot. Any safeties there? There's no safeties. I put a couple on the list, but none are there. Guard, Bass looks great, but you know what? I might actually push Falk. Abe Lockshed is really good. Yeah, the athleticism's not as good as I thought it was. Yeah, we're going to trade back like 10 spots. I think. We might end up just taking someone here, but we'll see. 87 is a little crazy. That's a little bit of a drop. 80? Let's just straight it. Here you go, Chargers. You can have it. You know what? I don't even care. Buccaneers love those speedy linebackers. We traded a 2nd and 6th this year to move down 12 spots, a little bit further than I wanted to, but we also gain a pretty good 4th round pick. They end up trading for Falk, ironically enough. We're going to move on to 12, as I'm assuming if not a linebacker, there's somebody on our list still there. There was a safety, actually, Cortez Thomas. Maybe late 4th we go for him, or we trade up 2 fourths to move up into the 3rd. Is there no lineman left, actually? I know we looked at lineman late, didn't we? Bass is still there. All right, so we have a choice. Linebackers, 3 of them. Benjamin Lewis, J.C. Walters, or Raymond Hendricks. I'm going to look into all 3 of these guys. Kind of liking Hendricks the most here, 6 foot tall. The lack of height is usually a good thing. I get way better players that are shorter than when they're taller, personally. 22. They all look really good. I don't know a whole lot about all of them. Honestly, Lewis looks like the most promising right now. I'm going to go Benjamin Lewis, just because of the B tackle, I think. Yes, hidden dev. Could have went either way. You never know, but it worked out, and that's all that really matters. Don't care how it worked out or why it worked out, but it did. And I really do like bass. Not a bad food. Yes, I called fish food. But I don't think I could trade up. I kind of want to just keep my picks. Maybe I move until Tate's gone. Tate, Dickerson, and the other guy, Bass. We end up trading both of our 4ths and a 6th this year to move up to the Falcons spot, which I believe we're going to be using the pick on an offensive lineman. Be nice to have an offensive lineman in the back pocket developing for when we actually do need them. Looks great. It's just, can we get lucky with Dev? We can. Worth it. Absolutely worth it. And then in the 5th round, I don't know, there might be a day 3, but we can't trade up anymore as we've basically exhausted all of our draft pick options, even dipped into next year slightly. Not by a lot, but slightly. And anyone remaining, we have the wide receiver Dorsett. Wide receiver, we don't have Rondale Moore on contract next season, so I'm going to go for a Rondale Moore replacement in Joseph Dorsett. And with no more picks remaining, we are going to move on to the draft recap, where I am pretty happy with what we did. Moved up and down a little bit with, hey, got to pay for college somehow. We moved up and down the draft a little bit, but overall landed, a lot of positions we needed. Edge didn't do our greatest. 79 overall. The linebacker and the guard are really good too. Didn't do our best for edge, but Trice, give him a little bit more time. And then Ebikidi, he's actually a pretty good overall with Dev. Offered, star Dev. Would have been nice to see higher, but he is 79 overall. What are his actual ratings? 79 overall rookie. He looks really good. I want to compare him to Harvin, who I would have chosen offered over him. Lewis, very balanced, a very good player, actually. Man coverage is lacking, but very, very solid. Dev could be superstar. Not going to be, though. We had choice of any linebacker, so we might have to take a look at that as well. But we got our new future linebacker for long term. And then you have Bernard Bass, very good pass blocker, could be a tackle of the future. So I'm going to put him there for right now. But, I'm going to put him at left tackle, learn behind Jake Matthews. And he is star dev. So all star devs, but all very good players. They're all, pretty good, especially for 32. To land 3 starters of the now/future when you have pick 32 and no extra picks is pretty good without, having to really dip into next year. Let's take a look at the cornerback, Harvin, who went 1 pick before us, 2 overalls lower. Also hidden development trait, though, so you never know. A little bit worse in coverage and press, also obviously slower. But what's the dev like? That's the big one. Dev is only star, so yeah, we got a very good player. They chose the wrong guy, without a doubt. And then there was some other linebacker options. We took Lewis. Right after was Walters, 71 overall. Also hidden development trait. More raw than our guy, though, without a doubt. Let's take a look at that dev. Even if he's superstar, I don't really mind. I think our guy's great. And he isn't superstar. I also want to take a look at Tate while we're there as well. Was there not another linebacker? Where did he go? Was he the 4th rounder? I might have passed him because there's no way. I don't think it was Whitfield. There's no way he lasted that long. That's what she said. Hendricks, there he is. 70 overall. Also hidden. Super short, a little bit more raw than our guy, but could be superstar. I've always had, the luck with the shorter linebackers. And not going to be, but still a really good player. And then the final player I want to take a look at, Mr. Tate, who went all the way at 26 in the 3rd. And yeah, I mean he's okay, but yeah, that's a bullet dodged. That is not a great player. So we didn't, revolutionize any of the positions on the team, but we have solidified the future at the offensive line position, kind of the future, but at the wide receiver 3 position. And then we look at the defensive side of the ball, and we did add a new middle linebacker in Lewis. We got a brand new cornerback 2 in Offord. Obviously, strong safety of the future, middle linebacker 2 of the future, edge rushers, maybe both. DT1 and potentially right end 1 need work, and then obviously you still have worries about wide receiver 2. But as far as the draft capital allowed to us and the lack of money that we had, I think we did almost as well as we could have, right? I mean, other than going for a 1st round edge rusher, which there just wasn't one there, I mean, there's not much we could have done to improve this team. Not a great season, I'll tell you that much. Oh, wow, we had to pay Pitts and AJ Terrell and Dolman with $25 million. I don't know where we come up with that kind of money, but we're at least going to pay the guy that you almost can never even try to replace with someone similar to him in Kyle Pitts. Don't get me wrong, AJ Terrell is very irreplaceable as well, but definitely a little easier to get a really good corner like him. Not very easy to get a Kyle Pitts, I'll tell you that much. Dahlman obviously replaced. Rondale Moore obviously replaced. I can't believe we're this broke. I even restructured contracts, and we have only 8.6 mil. Of course, we have a dog crap season, but on top of it, we win 1 billion games at the end, so then we ruin our draft pick further. Really fun stuff. But at least we didn't do too much damage to our draft pick, as look at this season. I mean, look at these wins, though. 3 in a row. 4 of the last 6 games we won when the season was already long gone. So unfortunate, but what can you do? And it is what it is. Maybe we got some XP or some stats that will lead. Oh yeah, Cousins is done for. Please tell me he retires. Some stats or something that help us get a dev up. Bijan was amazing. Mooney was actually pretty good. Pitts pretty good. London, not so great outside of Mooney and Pitts. Jake Matthews and McGarry combined for 25 sacks allowed. Pass rush, I mean, I don't want to do it, but I think I might have to do it. I might have to move this team to a 4-3 because you just simply don't get numbers in a 3-4. You just don't. And obviously, it's clear that the defense isn't working. So if this was a rebuild situation, you would have to rebuild the defense because it's not working out. Benjamin Lewis, the rookie of the year on defense, so should be a dev up to superstar. But overall, a very disappointing season after the Super Bowl win of all seasons. To the Super Bowl, Ravens versus the Cowboys. We were lucky enough to not have to face the Cowboys in that last season run, or the season before at this point now, run. I'm really hoping we can also save some money because I really need to get AJ Terrell back. I cannot lose him. As the Ravens win the Super Bowl, we have apparently $68 million. I don't know if that's because Kirk Cousins retired. Please tell me he did. Yes! I mean, oh no, Kirk Cousins. So 2 years in, I would love to see what the dead hit would have been. I gave him the 4-year 180. 100 mil guaranteed, 80 for the salary, so I'm not sure what happened there. But Penix is the starter. Kind of expected this to be the season he was going to be the starter as well. Dev ups for Lewis, and I think that might have actually been it. Lewis is the only one to dev up, unfortunately. But we have saved enough money because of the retirement of Mr. Kirk Cousins that we are able to likely re-sign AJ Terrell. If we have to tag him, we probably will. Yeah, Kirk Cousins is gone. So only 2 seasons of Kirk Cousins. Got a win of a Super Bowl, though, so fair enough. Kind of retiring on the down slope, if you will. But either way, a win for a Super Bowl is still a win. And we are headed on to the offseason where, like I said, we have a little bit of money to spend. Thankfully, because otherwise I don't know how we would have afforded AJ Terrell. But speaking of, did we not finish the contract on Pitts? Okay, I thought that was going to be enough. 4-year 58. What does he actually want? 4-year 61. So it doesn't seem to change too much. Tell me that's good enough. Thank you, because otherwise we would have been screwed with the tag. And then AJ Terrell, what does he want? He wants a 3-year 62. So that contract has definitely improved a little bit. 4-year 88. Thank you. 31 mil left. 5th-year option for Drake London. Probably better off just waiting. And then Drew Dahlman. I can't pay 11.5 mil when we're this close to being broke again. 31 mil. Like I said, I don't think we're paying anyone here. I do not. Taron Johnson, cool, but don't need him. Wyatt Teller, cool, but don't need him and can't afford him. Tyrann Mathieu would be nice, but not going to pay him. Mack would be great because our pass rush sucks, but we're going to go another route. Josh Sweat, another great player that we would like to have, but can't afford him. We're doing our due diligence, but yeah, realistically, we're never going to spend money here, were we? All right, it is the draft, and it's been a while since I have seen a generational pass rusher, but unfortunately, it's going to be pretty much irrelevant because I imagine he goes number 1 overall. There's no way I can trade up this high, but with that athleticism, an A finesse, I don't really care about the other stuff. It's just the athleticism enough that tells me that he's generational. Was he gone? He went number 1 overall. I have no idea who is the best pass rusher remaining at 9, but I will trade down if I need to. If I feel fit, I will do it. I do not care. And crazy enough, there's a pretty good quarterback here. If only we didn't draft a quarterback named Penix, pick 8 overall, we could have just taken one now and maybe wouldn't need a pass rusher. But regardless of the point, we are not in the realm of reality and just not being dumb. So we are basically forced to take someone here. I don't know about Stanton. I was going to scout him, but I didn't know. And of course, he's 23, so there's 0 chance to go for him. Some DT-age, I suppose. Pass rushers, Patton, I scouted further, and I don't remember. There might have been one more guy, right? Wow, is it just Patton? He's 1-2, but 1-2 could go anytime. I don't like the 6'6s too much, but with an A block shit, I'm going to take him. I'm taking him. And he is hidden. Okay, so the reason why I don't like 6'6 too often is because a lot of the times it feels like those guys are the ones that are normal, but he is not normal. This guy could be really good, actually. And I was going to trade down, but I've seen 1-2s go all the way up to 12 or 13. So let's not risk the biggest positional need we had with a really good, prospect and have no real backup plan. Of course, you also have some 2-3 D-line. I mean, we need DT, but do we need a DT that bad? We definitely need safety, without a doubt. Farr looks pretty good. I kind of want to trade down because Woodson looks great, too. So I'd really just rather trade down and then move back up once we know that they're gone. So I'm going to try to trade it like 20. Maybe we don't even have to move back up, but pick 20 and see what we can get out of that. And I guess the Rams are kind of giving me that, so I'll take the 4th-round pick to really just make somebody make a decision for us at safety. Just hope that they don't go too soon. I think they're 3 safeties. One of them is on the slower side, but I'd be willing to just take whoever. Keep on moving down. This is a win so far. We are winning. Every pick that isn't a safety is a win. And honestly, I don't know who to take. I'm probably just going to take whoever's younger/faster, which is kind of how I usually do all of this. DTs, you have Davis. You have apparently just Davis. Okay, I thought one of them, we had 2-3, or 3-4s, but I guess one of them was 2-3. Woodson actually looks pretty good, like I said, but Farr has the higher zone. So 22-449 versus Farr, who is 22-4 4.57, but also has good on the left side. And then I'm pretty sure Melton is the slowest out of all of them. So I think this is going to be Woodson. I think we're taking Woodson. Oh, wide receiver. Wait a minute. Who is this? Sean Broyles. I like those key ratings, though. Nah, we're going to go with Mr. Woodson. I do actually like the... well, let's see what his dev is. We'll see what the other guy was. But I actually do like one of the wide receivers. I think it was one of those speedy types. Could end up getting ourselves a like superstar dev speedy type. You never know. But here we are. DT is needed because we actually just got rid of Onyemata because, well, he's a lower overall and he's expensive. Not another normal, please. Yes, that is huge. Huge. Of course, DT is one of the positions I don't mind too much about being normal dev because they, one breakout doesn't take much to get, and, they got star dev with XP. But if we can get a linebacker here, I can't believe that Broyles guy is still there. We can get a linebacker here and then trade up for, if we even need to, Merritt, because I think he's the guy that's really fast. We're cooking. So we have like 6-7 names at linebacker. We can move down until there's like 1 or 2 left and then trade in with that 4th round pick, and I think we'll be in a great spot. We give up a 5th this and a 5th next to move up 20 spots with the Buccaneers. Once again, do not care that it's interdivisional at all. It just doesn't matter anymore. That is a thing of the past, like a long time ago past. Broyles is still there, though. But I need linebacker. I'm going Kane. John Kane. Decently athletic. Hidden dev. We have done it again. I'm telling you, these linebackers, we have been really cooking in the last few rebuilds. Gotta say, I have to say it. Pick 19 in the 4th round. Could actually be that Merritt wide receiver. Could be Merritt. We'll see what other kind of picks are here. Merritt is still there. It seems a little high, but once again, this could be one of those like superstar types. Don't know for sure, but I'm going to take the chance. Najee Merritt. Oh, that's a good start. Now, I've seen a lot of stars, but also there's been a lot of superstars still. This could be the superstar type, and he could be our wide receiver 2. At minimum, already wide receiver 3. We're going to move on to the 7th round, and despite having the normal dev safety, I think this was a great draft. And this guy looks like complete ass, I'm going to be honest with you, but it's the 7th round. He's a projected 1-2, and he's 6'4". I'm doing it. I mean, I'm just saying, the value is there. He's a 1-2 projected. Somebody saw something in him, and the speed kind of lied. I think he was faster than it said he was. I'm curious to see if we landed ourselves some, like, super goon, or if he is actually just a low overall that's just, like, star dev that doesn't really matter or something. But let's take a look at the overall. Speaking of, 73, 75. I mean, the 72 overall is fine. Only a 73 for Patton, but he will be the automatic starter. I think over Trice. I actually don't know. I really don't know. But he's going to be a starter anyways. Put him at right out because I think that's what Trice is playing. Dev. Hey, superstar. There we go. We got ourselves, I would imagine, a future like God. Joey Woodson. Oh, no. We got one of the hybrid types. We got a hybrid type. I really want to see what he was like compared to Farr. I mean, I could not have taken Farr over him, right? Like, he was just far too slow. Jamar Davis, the starting DT for this team. Dev. Star Dev. Okay, not really, expecting much different. Kane, the number 2 middle linebacker now. I don't even know if Ellis is still here, but regardless, he is replaced. And there you go. Let's take a look at Merritt, the 71 overall. 98 speed, 99 excel with the dev of a superstar. Superstar? Yes, that's a huge win. Of course, something in the single digits looks cooler. 0, why not? And then the wide receiver Hammond. We got ourselves a tall wide receiver as well out of this. Very good short route, great catching, releases up there. Jumping obviously was great. Definitely on the slower side, but we got ourselves another, like Drake London type. Dev? Star dev? I mean, nothing crazy, but still better than not having him. I want to see that pass rusher, though, that the Giants got. Oh, my God. 85 overall. 86 finesse. Definitely not the best I've seen. Obviously, insanely athletic, really good hip power, and finesse is good, but I've seen guys that are like 91 power move, like 80-something block shed, but still, that athleticism is crazy. Not sure why I'm looking at the dev, now that I think about it. We knew he was a generational. He was obviously always a generational. Was the safety? The safety was in the 2nd round. I don't know if Farr actually went in the 2nd round. Melton, 87 speed, so he was on the slower side. Also hidden dev, though. Oh, he was even worse than our guy for, like, zone. Let's take a look at what his Okay, Dev was only star. Fair enough. We can live with that. Where was Farr? Allen. There's Farr. 73 overall to the Browns. Ooh, hidden Dev. Oh, better zone as well. Don't be higher than star or I will snap. Woo! That's a bit of a miss. Wow. 3 whole devs higher. That is unfortunate. Well, Woodson, you better live up to the damn name Woodson. Oh, I completely forgot about center. Thankfully, we have Bass, who actually is kind of built to play center anyways, that can just fill in for him. This is why you future-proof, just in case you find other positions you need in the future and you just can't draft a lineman, or you don't want to, or you just forget. So we trade Ebikidi and a 4th-round pick to the Titans for a 3rd and a 5th, which obviously, barring how things go, if they were to win the Super Bowl and we were to have the 1st overall pick, realistically, they wouldn't even move much over. But we're betting on ourselves a little bit, and we're betting that they're not going to be that great either. It is now Season 3. It is finally time for the Michael Penix part of this rebuild. Offensive line looks great. Do need to get a new left tackle and potentially right tackle soon enough. Wide receiver 2 might be just Merritt in the future. I'm not really sure what we're going to do with re-signing Mooney, because I think we will have to re-sign him this season. Everything else is obviously fine, though. And then defensively, we ended up getting rid of Ebikidi, even though he was a higher overall, because he needed a contract now. Hasn't really done much, whereas Trice hasn't really had a chance to do much, as he is a bit younger. Safety, new strong safety, Woodson could have had an X factor, but hopefully he still develops anyways. D-line, maybe need a new right end, but outside of that, we're actually in a really good spot developmental-wise. And that's with having, once again, the 32nd overall pick because of the Super Bowl a year ago. See, if you look at the fact that we missed out on an X Factor, yeah, it looks really bad. But if you look at, it's a normal dev, don't look at it as a bad thing anymore, because Woodson is star dev, and he gets that 10K XP boost. It was worth it. 125 mil, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Algier, I suppose. Grady Jarrett, that would be a, let's see what overall he even is at this point, moment after the season. But yeah, money is not a problem anymore, which is great. But Penix will need a contract at some point as well, so it is what it is. But let's get these contracts in. I don't know if I want to pay Mooney. I really don't. I want to see what kind of season he's having as well. 82 overall, we could do better than that, surely, right? He's not that good. He's not that bad either, though. And he is having his worst season yet. So, yeah, I suppose see you later time. We're slipping up at the end. This could be the win of the decider of who gets the playoffs. Us or the Panthers, and I think it was. Couldn't get the words out there because I was just flubbing. I don't know. Panthers make the playoffs. We don't, because we lose like 3 of the last 4. Something crazy like that, unfortunately. That is pure pain. Definite pure pain. I mean, here is the how the season ended. Not a great start, and then we had a pretty good middle, and then lost the last 3 games. Oh, no. What a terrible day. I can't believe that. We could have had the first season with Penix as the starter. Could have been a playoff one. Not a bad season, not a great season. About middle of the pack. Really good rushing season yet again. Best of Bijan's career. Drake London was pretty good. Mooney was pretty good. Really good turnaround, in fairness, for Mooney. Pitts was okay. The rest were pretty mid. Blocking was, pretty bad. Patton, though, 15. Davis, 9.5. This rookie class was goated. The rest, very disappointing. Wow. Young Hui Koo was pretty bad, too. Maybe even lost us some games for all we know. But Patton cooked. Patton definitely won Rookie of the Year with that season. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. Merritt was number 2, even though he shouldn't even have come close. And Lindstrom is a superstar. We said it was going to happen. We said it was going to happen sooner or later. And there it is. No playoffs, but it was a pretty good season for some players, right? Dev up for the O-line. Patton was amazing. Might see the rookie Davis go up in Dev. It was a decent season. Just didn't really get as much from Penix as we wanted, and ultimately fell 1 game short of making the playoffs. The Cowboys versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. It took us long enough to get there. 151 mil even after those contracts we paid. It's kind of wild. No dev-ups on offense. No one is surprised. Defensively, Patton is an X factor. No one's surprised about that either. Davis doesn't go up in dev. I'm not even surprised about that, to be honest. But Even though, it was a bad season because we didn't win, go to the Super Bowl or anything like that, playoffs even, it wasn't a bad season when you factor in that we really need an edge rusher. We have the draft pick now to likely do that. And, of course, we already have Patton, who is an amazing edge rusher. What a draft pick he was. I mean, he already easily is one of the best pass rushers from that class after one season. And speed upgrade for the 6'6", 270 goon. Let's go into the offseason. I mean, maybe even quarterbacks on the list. I don't think Penix was bad, but we'll think about it. I do want to see this thing out with Penix if we can, especially since we've already technically succeeded in year one by winning the Super Bowl. But we'll take a look at free agency. We have a lot of money to spend. First things first, though, 151 mil. Got some options for our guys. Bijan, fifth-year option, speaking of. Might as well wait and re-sign him at that price. Mooney wasn't bad, but we could probably do better. Same with Grady Jarrett even, and Caleb McGarry. A lot of guys did regress, and at the end of the day, it's a young man's game. Boy, do I know about it. Go to free agency. Let's see it. Let's see if we got some names. Really hoping for a wide receiver. DT wide receiver would be perfect. Offensive lineman. Could go with, like a Ronnie Stanley, move him to right tackle, or just, grab Trent Brown. But unfortunately, unless you go like DJ Reader, which you could, because we're in a 3-4, and I don't think we're moving to a 4-3. Might as well stick it out now. I think, we can do that. So we have a couple of options. Sutton, I don't know what to do with this wide receiver spot. There's no one really young enough to develop either, and I'm not trading, a high draft pick for a wide receiver, I don't think. Maybe Cortland Sutton, perhaps. I've seen him traded a lot in those, kind of Broncos rebuilds that we do. Yeah, I mean, he's not the best, but I also don't think Merritt is good enough to be a wide receiver too. So we go that route, sign Stanley and maybe Reader, and call it a success. Don't really want to pay that much for a tackle, but we'll at least do a year. If, he wants to join on a year, I'll do that. That's fine by me. And then Reader, like I said, more of a nose tackle, which we can use. We'll just move, Davis, who did have a really good season in fairness. Nope, we're not going to do anything. We're drafting DT. Never mind. Never mind. Or we go Leonard. Nah, that's too expensive. Too expensive for quote-unquote mid. Yeah, I think we've got our two guys we want. Let's see if we get them. We did get Ronnie, but we are not going to get the... I hate the Patriots. I hate them. Mooney's already gone. Can't go Sutton. Ridley's not worth it. All right, we have to look from within. Sound very profound. Not even profound, but like spiritual. So we have pick 17. Logan Graham goes first. Larry Graham goes second. The Grahams are cooking. But we have pick 17, and I did see a couple of pass rushers. I seen one wide receiver. I'm going to slow sim just to make sure we get somebody in the first round. Some sort of... pass rusher or wide receiver. And there goes Nazir Good, who, of course, was my number one wide receiver. He was actually tall. Not the fastest, but he had some really good key potential ratings. We are now looking at... Ooh, Duhan is still there. So we have left outside linebacker Sanders, Hardy, and then you go to right out, we have Duhan, and then right end, not on the list actually, but left end, Bradley, who is... I don't think he was that fast, was he? Yeah, he's not the fastest, but he is decent. So we're going to look through these guys. Sanders, Deshaun Sanders, 21 years old. Got to get this right. Not the fastest. Has the B finesse. Don't know what the power move is. I had him on my list just because. Hardy, 1-2. Obviously at 1-2 right now is fair. Looks a little raw, but you do have that A finesse. And then you look at Richard Duhan, right outside linebacker, 21 years. I meant to click right bumper, and for some reason I hit A. And he was normal dev. I was absolutely going to go with Hardy, but I accidentally hit A when I was going through the right bumper for some reason. I don't know why, but I did. And I'm proud, damn it. I'm really not, but things happen. McFarland, I didn't go with... I didn't scout him further because I didn't think he was going to be someone I go with because, I was going edge or wide receiver in the first. That's fun. Cornerback looks kind of raw. Carnegie looks decent, but also don't know his man coverage. Right tackle does look decent. Wide receivers have a couple of options like J.P. Gibson, a B release, C catch in traffic, decently athletic, but you argue with his size, why not just use the superstar? You know, just forget wide receiver in general and just use the superstar at your number 2 spot. Might be what we do, honestly. I don't think edge is a possibility anymore. Do we not just go with that guy? I might go with that wide receiver, Gibson. I don't know a lot about him, but I know enough. I'm going to take him. And he's hidden dev. Nice. 94 speed, 93 XL. I'm just used to grabbing normal dev wide receivers left and right, so that's a win, I suppose. And then what was the next need? I suppose it probably was DT. I think that might be our move. Probably Hannah. Hannah and then maybe like an offensive lineman. I think that's going to be what we do. Cortland Hannah. Defensive tackle. Normal dev. Damn. We traded 6 and a 7 to move up 7 spots in the 3rd round. Probably could have done it with just like a 7th round pick or even a 6th. But either way, we got our trade. That's all that matters to me. And with this pick, we're going to take the only remaining lineman in Phillip Ward. Hope he's hidden. And he is. Nice. Future-proofing. All right, draft recap. We traded on our 5th round pick to get a 4th next year, and then we went with a fullback. The outside linebacker was a 74 overall, so, you know, not terrible. And then we have Hannah, who's only a 72, but the wide receiver at 76 overall is looking pretty good. Very good release, very good deep route and catching. Short and medium are a little iffy, but let's take a look at the dev. Maybe we land ourselves another Superstar Plus. And we did not, but that's still fine because he does look pretty good. Let's put him at number 1. So we have number 0 and number 1 out there. And it probably doesn't matter the rest. I guess we'll take a look at Duan, see if he's at least good. Oh, he's very good. In fairness, he is very good. So we'll take a look at Hardy. If Hardy's normal dev as well, or just not as good in general, which he probably won't be. Most of the like finesse types are a little bit like 76, 77, 78 maybe. Finesse, you're probably not going to see. Oh, there's Sanders as well. Let's see Sanders. Normal dev, so you couldn't really miss with that. A lot slower, so obviously you kind of have to do that. And then we see, where's the other guy? Hardy, 75 overall. Of course, hidden. And yeah, like I said, finesse is a little bit lower. Block shot's a little lower. If he's only star, I don't hate it. There we go. I mean, at least he's not the X Factor we missed on. 80 overall, 23 years old for this, one would assume generational. There's some pretty generationally type abilities in there, but you never know. And now it is star. He's really good, but yeah, star dev. Holy crap, who is this? Jamal Money. The Rams decision makers are going to be out of money because they have been fired. What is that? Season 4, second with Penix. We have, thankfully, luckily drafted a replacement lineman because I didn't notice Jake Matthews retired. So basically, Bass is being used and abused. Pause, of course, a large ultra pause for this one, and now he is at right tackle. So we intended him to be a tackle, he started at left, then he moved over to center, now he's back to right where I wanted him. We're, I think, done moving around, but this is what the offense looks like. We're hoping Gibson / Merritt / Hammond can be those guys. Hammond, I will say, at 6'4", do you not arguably put him at number 2? I don't know. I do like the upside of Gibson and Merritt, but we've got, you know, lower overall butt depth in general. Linebackers, Duhan, if he's the guy, will hopefully solve our edge rush issues with Patton already, you know, having a great season last year. Safeties are perfectly fine. Corners are perfectly fine. Interior could definitely use some work, but Hannah, maybe he gets a breakout or two early on, and then Davis, you know, 77 overall, had himself, what, a 9.5 sack season. We don't hate it. Hannah got himself a breakout, but unfortunately, we are having an awful season. Oh, I did not notice how bad the division was. If we win, we're actually in the playoffs. Yeah, I did not notice. I guess we didn't even need to win. The Buccaneers lost. We're in the playoffs at 8 and 9. I just didn't even think about how bad the division could be. And I was like, oh, here's another failed season. But no, despite the fact that we sucked, the rest of the division was just as bad, but worse. Unbelievable. We sneak in. Unbelievable stuff. Yeah, oh my God. The Saints were so bad. Look at how bad these teams are. But hey, we made the playoffs at 8-9, baby. I don't know how we're so bad, but apparently we are just so bad. Michael Penix, he has really not been great. I mean, it's an okay season, but it's nothing crazy. Running back was decent. Gibson was okay. Maybe he gets Rookie of the Year with that. I don't know. Pitts, you know, the best out of everyone, pretty much, for efficiency and touchdowns. London was useless. I mean, what are we doing with these numbers out here? Like, what are we genuinely doing? 9 sacks allowed for a center. I don't care if he's a rookie. Like, he's a center. Duhan, 4.5. Hannah, 5. Patton with 11. For Phillips with 4. Younghoe Koo finally had a perfect season. I say finally as if it's like common to do, but I don't know. This team's been kind of annoying me. Like, we had such a great start. We won the Super Bowl year 1, and then it's just been super downhill from here. It's not just been downhill, because obviously, you know, if you're not winning the Super Bowl again, it's going to have to be downhill, but it's like the sharpest freaking cliff of all time. Gibson does win Rookie of the Year. Duhan wins Rookie of the Year. Duhan actually had a breakout chance, failed it. Patton was good enough for Linebacker of the Year, which is something. We got a couple of award wins, but will we have a couple of playoff wins? That's the big question. We're an 89 overall. They are an 89 overall as well. It's time. The only home playoff game we'll have this season. If we win this game, it will definitely be a road matchup next time. But yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't know what's wrong with this team, but it is ass. Oh, we're coming back, though. It's still ass, though. It is still terrible. Down by 7. We've been down by 7 before. Okay, it's an 10-point game. It's shifting, 4th and 1. I know you can kick the field goal, but at this point, I think you have to go for this. Am I crazy? Am I crazy or am I just right? Like, that's the question. Double teaming Kenny Clark with the inside stuff, and Bijan will get it, just barely. No, am I luck? It'll be a bad decision. Nope, it won't be. A touchdown, down 3, and they're moving down. You see the field goal. They would have negated everything we did. It's a 6-point game instead of a 9-point game. We punt the ball, and with the touchdown to Romeo Doubs and the 2-point conversion, this game looks wrapped. We do get the touchdown. 2 minutes. I mean, they're literally... Like, look at the yards! They're gaining 1 billion yards per play! They're running the ball, and we're getting smoked. We know they're going to run the ball. And we killed them. Sliver of a chance, but it exists. Phillips covering freaking Reed. Can we cover our guy? We did enough. 4th and 1. It will be a stop. Of course, they could fake it, but that would be crazy. You might as well just go for it at that point. Faking it, giving us a chance with a shortened field. Instead, this punt will actually be insanely good. To the 20, you need 80 yards with only 37 seconds and 0 timeouts. All right, we kind of know the look. Crosser from the verticals. And that is a nice throw. Spike this damn B. About 10-plus seconds wasted there. Got on the field like 17 yards. Maybe could have waited a second longer. But then again, you guys seen that we got hit as we were catching the ball. I don't think that was actually something that was truthful. I don't think we would actually have made the play. Can I get him in the backfield? Okay. Screw it. Gibson, be the hero. He just launches it. I mean, the longest windup in NFL history, which doesn't really track. We're just making things up. Drake London does not have the speed to get somewhere inside. Ugh. Launched. Merritt is not going to get to the end zone. The speed, but it's not enough. And we lose. Looking at the numbers, obviously Jordan Love did outperform Penix. Robinson actually had a really good game, yet we still lost somehow. Reed was great. Pitts was meh. I don't know why I said meh. He's good as well, just no touchdowns. Romeo Doubs, about the same, just a little bit less catches. Gibson had a play. Merritt had a 53-yarder right at the end. I believed. And, you know, if it was slightly more to the Mac on the pack, okay. If it was slightly more to the end zone, maybe, but we fall short to the 7. I mean, there was nothing I could do there in that play. Like, it's just, we had no timeouts. The defense didn't make a stop sooner, and we just had limited time. Maybe should have went to the sideline, but I saw the speed, and I took the chance, and unfortunately, 7 yards short. Heading into the final season, going to roll that Chiefs offensive scheme and see if Penix can get a Super Bowl win. If not, he's in purgatory because his overall is kind of reaching maxed. You know, without DevUps, you know, he's really not going to go up in overall too much based on the fact that he's 26, now 27, and only star dev. Just usually you need to be Superstar Plus, and you need to be younger. Packers win the Super Bowl against the Texans. Love that was our wild card matchup because, you know, that makes it so fun. Looking at the DevOps, Gibson went up in dev. That's just, you know, because of Rookie of the Year, of course. And then obviously Duhan will go up to star. Maybe we get lucky with one of those like low sack total DevOps. Yeah, I was about to say, definitely a potential for it, and he does have it happen. Star Dev based on whatever sacks or tackles for loss he had, and then Superstar based on the award win. Might have been the 15 tackles for a loss. I don't know, but normal dev is not hard to get up from. Looking at the rest, no other dev ups. I think Hannah went up in dev, but no other dev ups besides. Oh no, dev, that was a breakout, wasn't it? Also, I forgot to do re-signings, didn't I? I kind of forgot to do re-signings, I think. 190 mil, I mean, we'll be fine, but still, I definitely forgot to do re-signings. Is that 20 million per? Oh my God. I mean, he is a 99 overall, so 5-year 108. If he didn't re-sign, I would have forced that. I don't normally force contracts or anything like that, but running back market with that kind of an offer, really? 20 million per? 5-year option, no thank you. Ora, I think, we could do better, but not for that price we can't. 9 million per is amazing. Bergeron, I mean, we're struggling to keep up with the lineman loss, and once again, not a crazy contract, so a 2-year deal is fine by me. Ronnie Stanley, 88 overall is really good, so we'll do a 1-year 24. Boom! The money is disappearing, but at least the talent isn't. Clark Phillips, the contract, we're getting screwed out on some of the contracts, so a 5-year 20 is the way to kind of counter that, if you will. Trice is going to be let go. Yeah, we got a lot of money. Don't want to lose Young Hui, but at the same time, he is definitely up there in age. Keep the punter, and then I would imagine tag Bates. Yeah, I mean, if the tag is the exact same price as you're offering per year, that's how you know they're just greedy. That's how you know. Just making sure we don't have our quarterback on there. We don't. And, all right, 100 mil to go into the final season to maybe build a Super Bowl winning roster. And even if we want to, talk about having to pay Penix next season, it doesn't really matter because we still have 100 mil. We can spend like 50 here and still be chilling. I think Chris Jones, that would be a hell of a name. Tyreek Hill, that'd be a hell of a name. I don't even know what positions we need. O-line could help, but is it really like that big of a need? Of course, Tyreek Hill's not like a 1-year deal. If it was a 1 year at 33, I'd do it. I might not spend money here. We'll see. Ellen Jenkins is also an interesting name. Usually don't see him in free agency. We have a pretty expensive left tackle. Ellen could easily move over to left tackle, and, I mean, after this season, Ronnie Stanley's probably going to regress, so future left tackle and starts at, I don't know, some sort of starting lineman position this season. Might not be the worst decision. Chris Jones, I mean, it's a 1-year deal, so we could probably go all in with him, do a $30 million on 1 year, and call it a day. I mean, he's not really getting real offers from other people. Who was that, DT? Michael Hall is a free agent as a star dev. Okay, I mean, they had their choice. I made all the first 3-round players 4-year contracts and 5-year contracts if they're a first rounder. So, I mean, if they're gone, that's just the team not wanting them, basically. And somehow we don't get Chris Jones. Ellen Jenkins we do get, though, on a 2-year 38, which is fine. Chris Jones joins the Saints on a 1-year, like 26, 27. That's fair enough. I think the Saints are a way worse team than us, but it's fair enough that it's not like, he took 8 mil less to join a worse team. It was only a couple mil. So, when you're as rich as he is, there's the side factors actually do kind of make sense. All right, we're in the draft. I actually don't know what I want. I'm thinking QB, but you already seen one go 1 overall. So, yeah, with that happening too, I can't imagine QB is even doable for us. The Buccaneers might be the last team. The Browns maybe. Unless we get lucky that there's no teams that need QB. Seahawks, perhaps? The Raiders, maybe? No? Okay, I guess nobody else needs a QB. It's just us, which I don't know if we lucked out because I scouted him further, and I have no idea if the guy that had a bunch of Bs is actually worth taking. And with a 3 to 4 talent grade, I'm going to guess no. A bunch of B ratings with elite throw power tells me there's a chance he is hidden, but I am not going to take a chance, especially when... I was really just like, okay, if there's a really good quarterback, maybe we take him because, let's be honest, it hasn't gone super well with Penix. But, yeah, I don't think he's good enough. Maybe I take Reggie Streets. D-line's not that big of a need, but it could be in the future. Duval. I mean, we're finally at the point where we just don't have a need. I mean, maybe you go with... Tracy Douglas is a 3 to 4, though, so I'm not really sure what you do here. I think you trade down for the first time in a while. Normally we're trading up. And I think the Vikings have given me a better trade than the Texans. We're getting one spot higher, and then we're getting a third next year rather than like the fourth and a bunch of like 6 and 7s. They're trying to cheese us how we usually cheese. But I'm not falling for it, damn it. But I'm going to be taking best available player here, I think. Want that 5th-year option. The quarterback's still there. Do you not put, like, grab the quarterback to apply pressure? I think you do. Cliff Klein. Don't be normal. There you go. Hidden Dev. That is pressure being applied. If you were not aware of what that creaking sound was, that was pressure. That was pressure against the metal frame of Michael Penix's arms. I don't know what I'm saying here. What do we have? Reggie Streets is still there. Pure value-wise, I might just take him. Reggie Streets. Boom. Future-proof. Nothing. Future-proofing nothing with a normal dev. I wonder how good Duval was. It reminds me. I can't remember who the draft was. Was it Brian Thomas's family? It was one of the families where it was like, I don't remember who it was, but long story short, it was like, they were like, hey, can you give me a Duval chant? And then like, you ever heard of Duval? And then the dad was like, what is that? And then they like cut away. It was hilarious. But this corner looks insane. Christopher Dale, pure value, boom. Yeah, I mean, that's too easy. When you see a player like that, you always take them. Even if you don't need corner. You could have 4 corners that are 80-plus overall, 22 years old. You take them anyways. It's just the value's there. And then I think for value, speaking of, I think we are going to look for... This tight end's kind of cool, but that would just be a backup anyways. We're going to wait until we're down to just like 1 lineman between these 2, I guess. And then trade up. So surprisingly, we didn't even have to trade up. I don't know if Hodge is the best player in the world, but we didn't have to trade up for the pass blocking lineman. That's who we're gonna go, Leon Hodge. That's a fun. Hopefully Fox wasn't actually hidden. Oh well, what can you do besides trade up when you have extra picks anyways to do so with? And my next player is a day 3 running back, Theo Phillips. He is fast, so I'm gonna take him now. But outside of that, I don't really have anyone else to draft. All right, draft recap. Let's see it. 71 overall for the quarterback. The corner was great. Left end Street, 73, 74 for the guard, 72 for the running back, and then the rest. This guy actually was hidden, but the rest, kind of just random backups in the 7th round. Hidden development. I mean, unless he's an X factor, I'm not really sure what you're getting out of this guy. I really don't know. Yeah, I mean, he's an 85 overall without any heft. If he had some heft to him, maybe put him at linebacker or something, but he's just a slow safety. What has Klein got? He's got trigger happy sense, tight spiral. He's got some decent traits, actually. Little raw, kind of like Penix, his rating early on here. Ooh, not like Penix with the superstar dev, though. That is actually pretty significant. There's actually going to be a quarterback battle here. And I know it's kind of crazy to think because, statistically, not the worst numbers in the world. Oh my God, 43, I got to change that. Not the worst numbers in the world for Penix, but also at the same time, he's not really lifting the team. He's being dragged along for the most part, right? Bijan's kind of carrying. Let's be real. All right, the final season, what do you do? Penix apparently is the starter, but he's, while he's 9 overalls higher than Klein, his ceiling is way lower. Those are his ratings as of right now. But Klein, I mean, with superstar dev and like 5 years younger of goodness, with like 9 KXP less needed per upgrade, he could easily get higher than him. So, I mean, I'm going to let the preseason kind of tell the story. And if Penix gets outplayed, I'm not going to play another season with him. I'm going to play the final season with this Klein fella. But looking at the defense... it's there. The devs are all there. The overalls are pretty decent. Just gotta win. So, trying to determine who the quarterback is. Penix didn't really start in the first game. Klein wasn't great. Completion percentage was pretty damn similar, but he did throw a pick. But obviously did have a lot more attempts in that game. Longer yards per attempt as well. Looking at the other preseason game, you have Klein throwing yet another interception. Lesser completion percentage, way less yards per attempt than Penix. And then for the final game, unless some crazy game happened with Klein, I think this is going to be a Penix sweep, and it will be. Penix is the starting quarterback for the final season of this rebuild. And don't get me wrong, I know there's going to be people in the comment section, just like the Bisons franchise, saying we should start the younger guy, the guy with higher potential. I get that, but I'm trying to go for realism here, and Penix won the job, simply put. And I got 1 of 2 for his 10K XP of the standout. Man, I don't know what it is since that first season, but we are struggling out here. Of course, even though we're not going to play another season, I do want to see where the team is financially for the future. So we're going to be re-signing everyone we can. Of course, we could actually afford to not even pay offered. Maybe you just let Terrell go in the next re-sign cycle, which could even be right now for all I know. Penix, 3-year, 30. I mean, even in the way he's playing right now, he'd be worth more than that. So it's a little bit of an awkward one. Bass has been like perfect, protecting like every side he can, playing center this season. Stanley's going to be gone. Jesse Bates, I would like to keep. 2-year, 42. He actually takes it this time. $52 million. I mean, the money's drying up. Let's be real. Patton, you don't want to lose either. I mean, how do you pay Penix? I mean, if he's not playing well, I think you just let him go. Even though Klein was really bad in the preseason. Like, what are we looking at here? I mean, that's mid. We're going to have to let him go. I genuinely feel like I'm scamming you guys. I like feel like I'm letting you guys down. I kid you not. It would be nice if this would sim quicker so you know what I mean. But with the Steelers defense and the Chiefs offense, like I would normally run, the Chiefs offense with West Coast spread, like I would normally run, we have had an absolutely horrible season. I don't know how it actually finished. It finished like I've never seen. This is hands down, listen to me, you're not listening. Hands down, the worst sim ever on this channel. Like, I'm not over-exaggerating. The worst sim that has ever been on this channel. Literally. Like, I'm not talking about, we've probably had a season that was like 2-15 or 2-14, whatever. Just based on roster talent and the scheme itself, I have never had a worse sim than this. And I don't even need to remember every single season to know, because that's how confident I am that this season was that ass. It was that bad. I get it, Penix is only an 80-something overall, but I have never seen it. I would expect better than this with like a 60 overall quarterback. That's how good not only is the team, but the scheme. And we went 6-11 in this division. That one of the seasons, recently enough, last season, we went 8-9 to win the division. It will never be beaten. It just simply will not be. I'm glad we won a Super Bowl year 1 with Kirk Cousins, because basically everything since then has been a disaster. And like I said, this is the most disappointing, worst season we've ever seen. It is hands down the worst. It is ridiculously bad. I genuinely don't get it. 21 interceptions for Penix. I mean, and there's, even if I want to do another season, just say, let's see if that was just a fluke, which it wasn't, because, I mean, consistently wise, we've been playing poorly. I would be starting over at quarterback anyways. That's like a 74, 75 overall at best by now. I don't know how this is possible other than just bad coding. I really don't need. I don't know. I'm flabbergasted. I don't even know if that's a word people use anymore. It might be the first time someone's used that word in months in human history. No awards, obviously, not even close. No playoffs, not even close. Despite the scheme and the team we have. We do this quite a bit. But I will be looking across the league. The Packers are 91 overall. The Ravens are 92. So the only team so far that has tied us or better is the Ravens. Chiefs, 93. There's no way, though, that the Chiefs, Packers, and what was the damn other team? Ravens all missed the playoffs like we did. Or if they did, it was... The Packers were 17-0. What do you want from me? Did the Ravens miss? The Ravens were 9-8, which is really stupid as well, but their scheme is pretty bad in Sim. The Packers were 17-0. 17-0! I don't know why I just turned into a radio announcer, but from I don't even know, the 60s. But the team that is lower overall than us went 17-0, whereas we won 6 games. Well, let's see if they can complete the perfect season. I am done here. So if Madden were to be believed, which we all know that Madden is absolute and always tells the truth and is super realistic, the Michael Penix decision was terrible. Terrible decision. That's just how it goes. Sorry to tell you. Nope. No chance of becoming a franchise quarterback in the future. He is a wasted pick, obviously. Madden said so. Of course, the Packers did not go undefeated, so pretty disappointing there. And there you have it. That reminds me of the Packers when they were going to have an undefeated season, but they were taken out by the freaking newly head-coached Chiefs of Romeo Crennel. Name drop. Panthers beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl. A little bit of a revenge match there. Is Penix regressing? I swear he was base 83. Okay, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm just looking for reasons to diss my man, but holy crap, EA is not a fan. Maybe it's because he's left-handed. I don't know. They're discriminative of lefties. I don't know. But Drake London, he never really develops better than that. Maybe you get a dev up from him, but usually he's missing, one or more of the route runnings. Then you have Gibson, who's kind of on the newer side, but Gibson is a very good deep route runner. Well, you already have the short route runner in Drake London, obviously. Merritt, he's kind of a newer name as well. 24 years old. Release isn't great. Deep route isn't great. Medium and short are okay. Catching's pretty good, I suppose. But let's take a look at Mr. Kyle Pitts. The 99 overall. I've seen him on 99 overall a lot, obviously. And it makes me sad. Look at the catching. Very, very good. Route running, though. Unbelievable. 90 short, 90 medium, 86 deep. Even that speed might be up a little bit. I'm kind of curious to see what his speed starts at. I think it's 92. Damn, it's 91. So an already super speedy tight end ended up getting 2 speed upgrades in this rebuild. That is kind of wild. Bijan, trucking and stiff arm's a little bit higher, but juke move, change direction, spin move, speed and all that is great. Obviously, we used him a couple of times in this rebuild. Offensive line, I guess we'll take a look at Lindstrom and Bergeron because, well, they're real-life players. Bergeron never really became that good of a pass blocker, unfortunately. Pass block power is good, though, which, he is a guard, so I suppose he's got something. And then Lindstrom, pass block finesse isn't that great, but it's still, very good. And then what else do we have? No one on offense. Looking at the defense, Jesse Bates, still a 97 overall, even after some regressions. He's really freaking good. He doesn't care about his age. He's like, it's just a number. They always say it's just a number, and nobody actually believes that. Well, they do now. And, of course, Woodson didn't end up staying a hybrid because we ended up getting a camp standout with him like a season or two ago, which gives a +5 to man or zone. And, of course, we did zone, and that helped save him quite a bit. Gregory Patton, insane power move, decent block shed. Athletic, obviously, still being insane as he is. Put up, 5 or 6 sacks in this final season where just everyone sucked. Duan, 91 power move, pretty athletic as well. You got a goon set of edge rushers, but they just really didn't put it together, unfortunately. Kane, the 81 overall, super cool name, 25 years old already. Pretty good balance, honestly, and, still has a chance to progress a little bit. Lewis, the 87 overall, who we paid, very good zone coverage, pretty damn good block shed, insanely good tackle, and just a bunch of really good ratings in there. Then we look at the cornerbacks. A.J. Terrell, the 95 overall cornerback. 29 years old. Obviously, whenever he needs a contract, you would just replace him and make everyone move up one spot. Dale would be the number 2 corner, who is obviously high potential as well. And then Offord would be the number 1 corner. Zone's lacking a little bit, but he's obviously athletic and really good man coverage. And Dale, who cares? Dale's barely played. Cortland Hanna, star dev with 91 finesse move. Pretty damn athletic. Great strength. Then we move over to Davis, who's actually an 82 overall. Had a really good rookie year and then kind of just fell off. But 90 finesse there, 91 strength. You really wouldn't be able to block this D-line, but the AI had no problems with it. Or with very good block shed, so maybe it would be your DT going forward. But this is a really good defensive line and team. And talk about a disaster post Super Bowl win year 1. Really just didn't do a whole lot. We made the playoffs, but we didn't, win much. But anyways, that is still going to be our realistic style rebuild of the Atlanta Falcons post-Michael Penix draft. If you guys enjoyed this one, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, I do appreciate getting support on the channel. Maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. Second channel, PKR Plays, we're now Madden content. And once again, if you guys want to use the roster, it's Vic. I think there is 2 Ks in his name, I'm pretty damn sure, with no C. So there you go. And then there was one other thing I was going to say. If you guys like the class and you want me to keep using it, let me know. But anyways, that's about it. Don't know what the plan is. Earlier today, probably nothing. Maybe tomorrow would be Bisons. Saturday would be Bisons with an experiment, something else maybe. And then Sunday, another rebuild. So plenty of content. Just don't know the exact days or time schedule for those. But there will be the vids. I appreciate you guys a ton. Hope you guys have a good one. And yeah, hopefully come back for next video. But until next video, take care of yourselves. See ya.